that right now just to start the damn thing. Welcome to the 61st episode of
Wait,
the Karstcast.
I thought this was the 62nd.
This is the 61st.
It is it?
Yep. This is the 61st.
Is there an episode?
Did I do one without you?
Let me just double. Jeff has been doing another pod. No, yeah, this is the 61st. The last one was the Naked Gun 60. Before we introduce our lovely guest today, I would like to ask Jeff a really quick question. What are catfish missing that many other fish have?
Friends.
It's scales. So.
Oh, that's right, because they're slimy and weird and have those whiskers.
Yep.
And then they also have like the spike.
Yeah. I'll ask one more.
Weird. Yeah, okay, I'm ready.
And I feel like you're going to get this one. What city hosted the 2010 Winter Olympics?
2010. That was
easy. So easy.
Was that Turin?
No.
Wait. That was Vancouver?
Yep, Vancouver.
Okay. Because Turin was the one before that, right?
Yep. I don't know. I'm just reading what's on the page. Anyways, I want to introduce today. We have a very special guest. I'm very excited about having him here. Our good friend, Owen Cahill. Feel free to introduce
play
yourself.
a sound effect.
Yeah, okay.
Because when you did that, it felt like it needed one.
Yeah, well, you can do that in post, or I'm not doing it again. So anything after this is going to be... I'm Owen. We're just going to move forward. Let me introduce myself. I'm Owen. You may remember me. I've been campaigning to be on this podcast since its inception. Mm-hmm. In fact, I would like to announce with this first one that I will be getting another campaign starting today to be on the podcast again. So make sure to send Karsten and Jeff, mostly Karsten, hashtag Owen on the Karstcast. Just inundate him with that.
You know what? When this one gets released, what we'll do is we'll throw up a Twitter poll and just like let them decide. Yeah.
You know what? Because we have fan favorites, and Owen. Yeah. You could be.
I'm going to be one of those.
Yeah. Cookie, as of now, Cookie's the biggest. Like people want Cookie back.
I can't be Cookie. I'll say that right now. I cannot be Cookie.
No, I mean,
but I will try to be sub Cookie.
Yeah. You can be the number 2.
Yeah, that's all I ask.
Our biggest issue so far is that neither Karsten or I is a fan favorite.
Jeff is more of a fan favorite than Karsten is, though.
Oh, yeah. The thing, there are way more Jeff fans out there than there are Karsten fans, if we're being honest. People listen to me, but they're not fans.
Right.
Jeff has a dedicated group of people.
But they're not fans with me. They're fans at me.
Yep. I'm trying really hard not to wheeze as much, the wheeze laugh, but I'm realizing it's not gonna.
That's so much of your personality.
Right.
It's part of the brand at this point. Yeah.
Exactly.
We are also just like off the rails today. I would like to tell everyone that it took us, I want to say like 10 minutes of talking until we started recording.
Well, the thing is that Owen had to shave.
It's still not perfect, but I did there's like a little bit here.
We all talked about how his video glitches. Mm-hmm. And so we are aware huge idiots if that doesn't happen on the Zoom, but I'm pretty sure it's going to.
It's definitely.
So if you want me on the podcast again, make sure to send me some cash. My Venmo is, I think.
Our Patreon money will go straight to Owen to get
a new webcam.
I kind of like the aesthetic because it kind of feels like some like 90s home movie.
Yeah, it feels like I'm like transmitting from somewhere that it's like illegal for me to be on this podcast.
Owen, if you guys didn't know, some of you might already know Owen because I believe 5 people who watch me listened to the episode that I was on your own radio show. Mm-hmm. Owen and another friend of mine, Emily, you guys have a radio show at DePaul called Shout Out to My Future Significant Other, which is like a dating show where they have singles on and we basically talk about that. And it's a really great, it's one of my favorite shows out there. I've listened to a few episodes where I wasn't even on it. I just felt like listening to it because you guys are great. You guys are.
Did you listen to the one that you were on?
Yes, I did.
Because the way you said that made it sound like, of course, I'm going to listen to the one that I was on. I had to make sure I sounded
okay
as well.
The thing is,
because you mentioned me once actually.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, you just said I was old.
Yeah.
That's
that sounds right.
That's the one thing I know about Jeff.
While it's a good show, I did not get what I thought I would get out of the show.
Hey, I have been hosting that show for like a year and a half now, and I still have not been in a relationship. So
I think you've answered this on that show multiple times, but I have to ask, has anyone ever actually gotten into a relationship on the show?
So we have one person who, like, no one as a direct result of the show has gotten into a relationship.
Okay.
Both Emily and I have been briefly romantically entangled with one of our guests, not the same guest.
Okay. I was going to say that is a weird love triangle.
You made it sound like the same guest.
Yeah, no, not the same guest. But then there was one person.
Sorry.
There was one person that, like, Moranti, you guys know Moranti.
Yeah, of course. Mm-hmm.
She, like, before she started dating her current boyfriend, she made him listen to her episode and, like, a bunch of different episodes. She's, like, our biggest fan. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is she a fan of my episode?
I'll tell you.
Understood.
Yeah.
That was the one she specifically said.
She's like, do not listen to Carson's episode. Says a bunch of awful things.
Have you thought about making an episode where you make the person who's the guest, it turns into a date with you?
So we have thought about that, and this is, I'm sure, great for this podcast, just talking about another one. If you want to listen to my podcast, we're on Patreon. I'll plug that at the end. It's free. You don't have to pay anything. But we've thought about setting up blind dates for each other, or having like a blind date on the show where we each bring one of our friends and have them go on a date
on the show. Yeah. I really like that idea.
Yeah.
To be honest.
We're maybe going to start up because we haven't made an episode since the quarantine started.
Right.
We've been talking about starting up again. So now that we're not on the radio and we're a little bit more flexible, we're going to start doing some weird stuff. So
I was going to ask, like, because I don't know, are you and Emily both seniors? Are you guys done after this?
We're going to be seniors this next year.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Wow. Okay. Interesting. So you have another year in you.
Yeah.
Cool. I was getting sad. I was like, damn, no more future significant other episodes, but
he can't get rid of us.
Can I be on again, even if I'm not?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
I will make a
wait for you to do a whole season where Carson's on the entire season.
We're just going to have Carson on, and it'll be a lot of call-ins and
partner. Okay. Yeah. I have this hat on. I asked Jeff briefly about it. I don't know if this is a look, the rolled up beanie look for any listeners at home, but I was feeling it.
I feel like too far rolled up.
It's a little too far rolled up?
Yeah.
Okay.
How far can you roll it up?
I've tried. Now that I have a buzz cut, I can definitely push it, but
if you just keep rolling it up, does it turn upwards and just like sit on the top of your head? Yeah.
I've done this, I'm not going to be able to hear you guys briefly, but I'm going to demonstrate. So I'm going to roll it up a little bit more, and it just sits right at the top of my head like that.
That sucks.
That's not a look.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
The best part is, though, to correct it from what we're like, yeah, that's terrible. You just do like one minor unroll. Like, oh yeah, now it's great.
That's like the hint of hair that you have up at the very top.
Yeah.
This is crucial. This adds a lot.
I mean, your entire hairstyle right now is hint of hair.
Mm-hmm. It's grown back a lot. If you guys want to look at it's.
Oh wow.
Yeah, my hair grows fast, so we'll be back to normal in no time. But
got a strange hairline.
There's a giant hole in the top of that hat.
Don't love the hole in the top of that.
There is a hole in the top. I don't know.
I think you need a new hat.
The problem right now is that, like, my hair, I usually have it shorter on the side, so it's all growing at the same time right now. So we'll see how my hair's never been like that before. So where everything's the same length, but we'll see how it turns out. Do you guys think like we're going to be able to go to barber shops and stuff?
My dad has a haircut appointment, I think, for June 1st or May 30th that he's been waiting for a while.
He's confident they'll open by then, or?
I don't know. I got a haircut on like the last day that they were open before.
Yeah.
Oh man, I had a haircut and my barber just kind of like red pilled me about the coronavirus. I was like, oh, it's actually the US sent it to China and he's like, everyone is lying about how many people live in their countries. They say there's 7 billion people on the planet. That can't be right. There's like
I've only seen like 20 billion.
Everyone is lying to make them seem stronger.
I just want
to get my hair cut, dude.
But was it a good haircut?
You tell me. Well, it's really good.
Yeah. I mean, it's been. I was gonna say. What else? that's about it. I have 2 notes for the intro. I said hair is growing back and future significant other mention. So,
you actually had those as notes?
Yeah, I have little talking
points. That came up so organically. That's well done.
Why I'm good at this.
A good podcast host right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't explain my shirt. For people, this is really for the people watching the video portion of the podcast. But my shirt is the official shirt of the Florida toll booth workers. So it has like Miami. It has like all these different, Yeehaw Junction. That's a place in Florida. The Dolphin Expressway. It's a lot of very Florida names for things. But
and why do you have a shirt that's made for Florida toll booth workers?
Because it's awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, you had to like set out a specific form and like buy it from like the government.
I'm not saying you should do this, Jeff, but that just seems like a shirt where you should unbutton the next button. But don't do that now. Okay. Oh, it is unbuttoned. All right.
Yeah.
Never mind then.
Just throw it open a little bit more.
Yeah. None of the buttons are actually buttoned in the front.
Yeah, no, the whole thing. Honestly, this shirt is about to fall off.
Wait, let me just ask this real quick, Florida-related question. Have you seen The Beach Bum, Owen?
No.
That Matthew? Okay. Have you seen it, Jeff? Have we talked about it?
I have it on my like Hulu list.
Yeah, we should talk about that at some point because it's a really Florida movie. And
Harmony Korine?
Yep. And I just realized that would be a good conversation. But anyways, that's not the movie we're talking about today. If anyone else has anything to get off their chest for the intro, now's the time.
It's better than Gummo, right?
It's way better. It's funnier than Gummo. Well, I haven't seen Gummo, but I can assume
Gummo is not funny.
It's a lot funnier.
Gummo, we're talking about the 6ix9ine music video?
Yeah, specific.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Of course.
There we go. Today we're talking about this movie called Parasite that came out last year. I'm sure you guys have heard of it. It won Best Picture. It was directed by Bong Joon-ho. And yeah, I mean, I don't really need to introduce it. I'll come up with my own synopsis today because I've seen the movie enough and I feel confident. It's about
don't give too much away though.
No, exactly. Yeah. It's about a family. We're gonna leave it at that.
That's it.
That's gonna be this. It is about a family. I just realized as soon as Owen said that, I was like, oh, maybe I will say too much. So, but the thing is, I'm pretty confident. We will have a spoiler section for this because I'm assuming there are a few of you who haven't seen it. Even
honestly, though, for this one, I feel like
a lot of
you should be extra sure that you have not, that like this does not get spoiled for you. So honestly, don't even listen to any of this before you've seen it.
Good thing is now on YouTube, we have timestamps. I don't know if you knew that, Jeff, but I added timestamps.
No, I didn't.
YouTube automatically has like things in the play bar. So if you just want to skip past the entire movie today, go right ahead. We got
start with hat talk and we got Owen's plugs.
We have good questions from the Reddit today.
Do you think that timestamps would also be the name of stamps when they figure out time travel and you could send a mail to different years?
I think why would they need a different type of stamp?
Yeah, they could just do the same.
I think I guess that you probably don't need the postal service to deliver this.
I was going to say at that point, I think the internet will do the trick.
But also, if
the internet didn't exist in the medieval ages,
and also we would have been receiving that mail now because it would be sent from the future after this was already invented.
Right.
But maybe we are, and we just don't know.
Yeah, I wish I had
one person is getting all the future mail and is refusing to give it out to anyone else.
So this movie, I wanted to have Owen on for this specific episode, and I chose this movie for this specific episode with Owen because you are like one of the biggest Bong Joon-ho fans.
Yes.
I know. I remember like even before the Parasite hype, I remember we were talking about TIFF. This was a specific night I was able to vote for the People's Choice Award or whatever for TIFF.
I remember that.
And you watched me pick Jojo Rabbit just to give them the vote. And then they won. And Parasite came in second, and I regret not voting for Parasite. But
yeah, no, Parasite like has kind of defined my film school experience, or not Parasite. Sorry, Bong Joon-ho. Because
like, wow, those first couple of years,
exactly, everything was waiting and
nothing
getting
happened.
Up to it. But no, we like in one of my like foundations classes, my professor told us some kid had watched The Host, and my professor was like, if you liked The Host, you should watch Memories of a Murder, which is another Bong Joon-ho movie. He's like, that's the best serial killer movie you'll ever see. And then I couldn't find it, but that night I watched Mother, which is another Bong Joon-ho. And I've seen almost everything he's made. There was a point where I was trying to see a short film that he made, and I had to find someone that I went to high school with who went to Yale, who gave me her Yale library login information so that I could watch this movie that is fully in Korean without any English subtitles.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You're a hardcore fan.
I'm a Bong.
Did you
Bong
learn
stan.
Korean though?
No, I was very confused the whole time.
Oh wow. Pure visual experience.
Well, and the biggest thing that quarantine, there was going to be like a Bong Joon-ho short film showcase, I think at Doc Films.
Okay.
That got canceled, but I was going to go. I was very excited because it had like the one thing I hadn't seen of his that you can't find anywhere else. So
was it the Barking Dogs?
I've already seen. No, that one's on Netflix.
That's on Netflix.
Yeah,
I had no idea. Wow.
Mother. Snowpiercer.
I know Mother's on Hulu.
Mother's also on Netflix.
Okay. Interesting. Mother is the only Mother and the Barking Dog. I forget the official title. Those are the two I haven't seen.
Those are the only one I've seen.
Maybe I like as favorites. I might like those two more than I like Parasite.
We will get in. Another thing you need to know about.
I'll let you guys go on that one.
Another thing you need to know about Owen is he has some of the weirdest, I'm not going to say bad, but just weirdest takes. We got in a very heated argument about Good Time. This man, and we won't get into it now because I won't shut up, but this man doesn't like Good Time.
It's not that I don't like it. Well,
you think it's boring.
It's just I think it's slow.
Which boring is even a better way of describing it than slow. But you know what? Let's just drop that one. We have other things to argue about, apparently. But Jeff, you just said that you've only seen Parasite.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we'll move past that one.
Which tracks, to be fair.
It tracks so well. Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think of his other. Snowpiercer. We have a discussion question relating to that, so we'll get into that. Okja. Which the thing about Bong's work is that I've realized when watching all of it now that they all share some connection. Like they all are very similar to one another, while at the same time being very unique. But I think a big thing is the endings. I think that he ends all his films the same way. I won't go any further because I won't spoil that. But I just think he is such a consistent director who's been playing with the same idea for years, which is so clear in his films. And Parasite is that idea just fleshed out in the best way.
I'm very excited to see what he does next because it really does feel like Parasite was kind of the apex of everything that he's been working to so far.
Right. And I've read, I think he said in an interview or he said something, it had something to do with Martin Scorsese asking him. I don't know, but he says he has what he wants to do next lined up. He
Parasite 2.
Parasite. Yep. The American remake.
Adam McKay Parasite remake.
Right. But apparently he's like pretty confident with the red, which just makes me so excited. Because I mean, if I made Parasite, I would just feel so like the pressure that must be on this man right now. I can't imagine.
Also, I do want to say before we get into the discussion that I did make a Twitter bet on the Oscars night that if Parasite won either foreign film director and original screenplay or best film, best picture, I would get a tattoo. And it won all four of those.
Won all four.
I'm still getting that tattoo. I just don't have any ideas of what that tattoo should be because I don't want to do it. I don't want to do I don't want to say too much, but there's some images that could easily be a tattoo that I haven't. I'm like,
does it have to be like associated with the film?
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Was that part of the bet or was that just implicitly?
You just have to get any tattoo.
I'll look up my.
I pitched you my idea. You did not like it, but I think it would be a sick tattoo.
It was a giant face of Karsten on your back.
It's Bong Joon-ho and Karsten if you put them together in one of those baby generators.
Just like hugging. Yeah. No, I think you should get it's an object in the film that I'm shaping it out with my hands right now. I don't think it's a spoiler, but it's a key object. It's metaphorical, I guess. I thought you should get an outline of that.
That one's too simple.
Like I know what you're talking about, but the actual like gestures you made was very vague.
It's shaped like this, like a trapezoid, like a rounded out trapezoid.
Yeah, okay, that's a better, because you were just doing like this, and I'm like, this could be anything.
I'm thinking that maybe because there's a graphic novel that's coming out that's just his storyboards.
Mm-hmm. I saw that, yeah.
Maybe once that comes out, I'll find something in there that I'll like. Yeah. But if you got any ideas?
Real quick, if we all do this together, this could be a good thumbnail for the video, and it will look like really interesting.
People be like,
they'll be like, "What are they doing?" And we're all just like moving our hands in the same.
That's enough. Yeah, that works for me.
There'll be a good one. Just make sure I look cool in whatever one you pick.
Ask you, Jeff, like, how do you think of the thumbnails that I make for these videos? Because I usually I blindly go about. I'm like, Jeff looks like he's laughing, having a good time.
Yeah, I think you make it look like I'm laughing like too much.
Gotcha.
Where I think I just look kind of like dumb.
I mean, that's YouTube thumbnails, but I respect.
Yeah, no, I mean, I figure you're the expert on
flash
YouTube
my
thumbnails.
ass for this.
That would be good. Yeah, but no, wait, put the headphones like on your ass so it looks like you're
with our friend Owen the butt.
And they'd be like, this is what Carson thinks of his opinions.
I was gonna ask
talking butt
you guys, because I think this is I think this is worth bringing up. How many times? I know, Jeff, you've only seen it once.
Parasite?
Yeah,
I've seen it I've seen it a second time because I tried to watch it again today before this, but then I ran out of time, so I didn't see the last 30 minutes.
Okay.
I've seen the last 30 minutes once and the rest of it twice.
Okay. And Owen, how many times have you seen it?
I have seen it 3 times.
Okay. I've seen it 4.
Okay.
Wow. Okay, you're better than us.
I would have seen it 4, except that Karsten shamed me from finishing it the first time I tried to watch it.
Yeah, because you were watching it on a laptop. A bootleg. No.
It was before I had seen it in theaters. I was watching it.
Yeah. And I was like,
what if you set up like 5 laptops next to each other and play them all simultaneously? Can you say you've seen it 5 times?
Well, no.
Only you have to segment them. So like 5-minute buffer.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Because I think if you watch them all and they're all playing simultaneously, that's like
But you've seen it play out 5 times. You've seen. I'm saying
you start one, and then 5 minutes later you start it again, and then 5 minutes later you start it again. Then there's enough time to see it 5 specific times.
I would probably go crazy if I tried to do that.
I would like to say I think this film is like I used to not really believe what I was saying, where I said you need to see it in the theater, because it's not like a visual. It's not like Dunkirk,
Mm-hmm.
But it is such a good theater movie, because I just watched it for the first time, not in a theater, with my family. They really liked it, but I realized it's like in a theater, to get the kind of audience reactions to this, it just makes the whole experience so much more. Like, there are gaps of silence that I never noticed when watching it at home that you would usually be filled with people. Like there's the montage scene that every time I've seen it in a theater, people clap at the end of it. And I just think that's so fun being there in that setting. Even if it's like 10 people in the theater, everyone's like, yeah. So I just, I'm sure it'll like do more theater runs in the future, but if you have the chance to go see it, it's a great time. Definitely not now. Nothing's playing in theaters right now.
It's not good advice right now.
If
like, are you telling people who haven't seen it to not watch it until they can see it in a theater?
Well, or are you telling people to break the law and break quarantine?
At this point,
are you telling people to buy their own movie theater? Like, this is confusing advice you're giving.
I'm gonna let the audience deconstruct that advice however they want.
I mean, by this point in the podcast, the audience is probably like 2 people.
Yeah. Well.
What? No, I'm a draw. People are looking for me.
I guess we can start, because these discussion questions are so hefty. People sent in. I'm really happy with the questions they sent in. We'll just get right into those, because I think they will do a better job of this than we are. This first one comes from the Twitter name Ananya. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it. This is really just for me and Owen.
Sorry, Jeff. Is this Snowpiercer question?
Yeah, it reads, I don't know if Jeff has seen Snowpiercer, but I know Carson has and Owen has. Since both cover the same topics of class and are from the same director, but with one being very high concept and the other being somewhat more grounded, what overall made Parasite a better movie in your opinion? And I think the question kind of answers it for me. It's the fact that, and I get it, like different people like different stuff, but I think the fact that Parasite is more grounded makes it so much more appealing and easier to discuss and absorb what it's trying to tell you. What do you think, Owen?
Snowpiercer is like, if you know like how Snowpiercer got made, it was basically Hollywood like throwing money at Bong Joon-ho and saying, "Come make a movie for us." So I think that, and I mean, there were so many battles. So it was like, my favorite Bong Joon-ho story is that, so it was produced by the Weinstein Company, and obviously fuck him, and this story is a fuck you to him, but like there's that scene where
we don't curse on this podcast.
Oh, do we not?
No, we don't.
Yeah,
I just say that.
But there's like the scene where there's the battle on the train, and they like cut a fish and they dip their machetes in the fish blood. And Harvey Weinstein was like, "You need to cut that out." And Bong Joon-ho said like, "No, this is actually an homage to my father, who was a fishmonger for a long time. So we have to keep it in." And he totally made that up just to keep a cool shot in the movie. Yep. But I think that's what, like, Parasite is so much more free of anything else, that it's just like, it's exactly what you can tell it's exactly what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And that just translates to a simpler, but also deeply complex movie.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think, like, Snowpiercer does give off that more Hollywood side as opposed to Parasite, which isn't a bad thing. It's still a Bong Joon-ho. That's still a great film. It's
a great action
Snowpiercer,
movie.
Yeah. It's just like a lot of it's more stuff that would be a lot quieter. And that's why Parasite works so well in some parts, is some of the more quiet moments that aren't like shoving stuff in your face. It's actually more appealing. I think Snowpiercer there's a lot more, this is what this all means moments in Snowpiercer. I think.
Yeah, it's a lot more heavy-handed.
Exactly. It takes away from the subtlety that I think I really appreciate about Parasite. But
Snowpiercer also is based on something that is not Bong Joon-ho. It's based on a French comic, I think.
Okay. Understood.
So it's not entirely his story.
Yeah. I would like to say, and I think Arturo brought this up. I forget who from Let Me Explain. This is not my own original thought, and I'm sure everyone has already made this connection. But I just like how the fact that Snowpiercer is like a horizontal type of thing, and Parasite's vertical, because there's like the basement and the living on it. I think that's a cool comparison. It's just so fun to take Bong Joon-ho's ideas and connect them all, especially because. I don't know. What were you going to say?
There's some video essay that I saw about like the concept of left and right in.
Yep. I think that was Every Frame of Painting.
Maybe, yeah. Oh man, Every Frame of Painting video about Bong Joon-ho with like how he directs a scene and it has stuff going on in a fork. Oh, great. I've seen it so many times.
Yeah. He's the competition, so fuck you for that up.
He's not making stuff anymore, so
he's out of the game. But yeah, I think that's kind of where I stand on it. But I still love Snowpiercer a lot as a film.
You excited for the TV show?
I didn't even know they were making a TV show.
Making a TV show with Daveed Diggs from Hamilton.
Oh, that's going to be great. That's going to be real good. Cool. This next one's for all of us.
Is it going to be like a lot of singing, like in Hamilton?
No, I don't think there's going to be any singing. It comes out soon. I think it comes out this month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Speaking of like out of nowhere drops, Spike Lee just announced his new film is dropping in June.
I'm so excited.
Out of nowhere. I mean, that's really exciting for me. He's been talking about this film for a while, and now it's just coming out next month on Netflix. So this next one is it's more for all of us. Jeff, you can be welcome.
Oh, I can. Yeah, awesome. I'm ready.
You're allowed to speak.
It comes from Landon DeFever. It is, what are your thoughts on the sentiment behind the best plan is no plan at all? Agree, disagree, or does it kind of depend on the situation? This is something I don't think I have not seen talked about enough. No one I know has really talked about that part of the film. And it's a part of the film that I still don't feel like I have a full grasp on, but I have enough to talk on this. But what do you guys think?
I mean, do you agree or disagree in the context of the movie or in the context of?
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah, it says it depends on the situation, but I think in the context of the movie, I guess, I was going to say, I agree when speaking in like broader terms, which I think is what he's trying to tackle. Mm-hmm. I think what he's talking about is a plan for like happiness or like satisfaction in life. I think planning like an expectation for you to have or like a reaction or an emotion, I think that's pointless. I think if you like plan to be like this successful by this period of time or something, I think that's just setting yourself up for disappointment. So to live in the moment is a better way of doing that. And in the context of the film, I have not been able to connect those two ideas.
I mean, I think personally, I think it's very contradictory and self-contradicting in the film, because we see the plan, we see, you know, their initial plan of, can we talk about like the plot of the film now, you think?
Yeah.
I feel like we need to at a certain point.
Yeah, exactly.
As good a time as any.
The plan to get themselves entrenched into this other family works, and they're great. And it's only when the plan is thrown off that they fail. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, when there's no plan again at the end is also another moment where there's a big failure. And then at the very end, the way that the whole movie kind of hinges on the fact that the son now has this other plan to buy the house again and free his dad. So I don't know. I feel like it was a weird moment in the film, because so much of the rest of the film is based on the plans and how successful they are.
I mean, I think another way to think about it would be that it wouldn't have caused as many issues deviating from the plan if there wasn't a plan to begin with. If that makes sense.
Well, yeah. That's what he brings up. He's like, if there's no plan at all, you can't mess up, which is kind of him saying like, we didn't mess up, and like ignoring the fact that he's like, if we say we didn't have a plan, this is totally fine.
If they don't have a plan, then they don't get.
But then they don't get entrenched in the family.
Exactly.
But in the end, of course, all of that was bad.
I mean, the best scene in the movie is the most carefully constructed plan to get the housekeeper out and to install the mom.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I also just think I think that whole idea is really, I don't fully agree with the dad is what I'm saying when he says that. And I think it's a happy ending because of the way the son follows his own philosophy rather than his dad's, because he kind of forms this plan. Because it shows upon watching it a fourth time, the dad is kind of an idiot. Like the more you watch, there is the scene where they're all like drinking when the other family goes to they go camping, and they're all hanging out on the table, and he's talking about like the son marrying the younger daughter, and like, oh, we could like hire actors and stuff like this. And I'm like, that is not going to work, dog. And I think he has a lot of moments like that, especially like back at the house when they're eating dinner. It's like he has a lot of moments where he's actively like just not planning. He's not planning, but he sets these goals for himself, which I think is just a bigger issue than, I don't know. My point is, I don't think the dad's right.
In the context of the movie, I would like to think, and maybe this is, you know, me reading too much into it, but he's like, he gets them to leave the house or to leave behind by saying that he has a plan. And so I think maybe saying the best plan is no plan is just there to kind of cover his butt.
Yeah, that's also.
Yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to go with what you said.
But the way the movie frames it makes it feel like it's trying to say something bigger. Especially at the time it comes in the film. It feels like the entire message of the film is said when he says it.
That's not.
Also, it's like I was always trying to figure out the poster design with the eyes covered up. You know, how they have the black. You know what? I'm gonna do that for the thumbnail for this video.
So you're not going to do
but we could still do this with
we're gonna have people are gonna be like, what is going on? Should we do this Parasite reference? What if we do this? Never, like that makes no sense. We're just holding the black box. I'm trying to figure out where that like idea comes up in the movie. And it's when they're like laying there and the dad is like covering his eyes like that. And the son is, I think, doing the same thing. I can't remember, but I know the dad's doing it, and I'm like, is that where the
by it for our audio listeners, you're saying covering
the eyes? Yeah.
Like the eyes with like one of your arms horizontal.
Like are we? I just said Owen? Like this without. Oh yeah, Owen, you have to do it. Now it looks like we're dabbing.
Who dabs like that?
We'll all be dabbing for the
with a black bar.
Yeah, over the dab. So yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what that means. It's a part that I'm sure it's explained somewhere on the internet, but
yeah, I want to press both of you because you're talking about the thematic similarities between all of his films, and I want you to more overtly talk about that because you kind of just left as like this unspoken association.
Well, what themes specifically? Like,
well, that's what I'm asking. Like the ones that you're both referring to.
Oh, well, I mean, they kind of, speaking in more broader terms, I guess he's always talked about like class a lot. That's in pretty much every film of his. And when I said this is like a culmination of all that, I think it's pretty self-explanatory if you watch the movie. I'm trying to figure out. Right. I'm not saying your question's dumb. I'm trying to answer that question myself right now.
No, I just meant because you like kind of glossed over that, but I think that the way that at least this film, I haven't seen the other ones, but I was just curious, how like what those they were similar in terms of like, is it dealt with in like the same way where it's because this film, it has like an interesting association with like class and also greed.
Yeah. I think in a lot of his movies, there's like, it's like the shallowness of like the upper class and how
where it's all these things happening that they like just don't notice.
Yeah. But it's especially like the lower class looking to the upper class as some sort of paragon of excellence and realizing throughout that. So like in his first movie, which is Barking Dogs Never Bite, it's a couple of interwoven stories, but the main one is this man who wants to be a professor, but for whatever reason, like he can only be a professor if he bribes like the education board to allow him to become a professor, but he's poor. And so he needs to gather up money to bribe, but he doesn't have that money. But then once he gets the job, he'll be financially set. And in Snowpiercer, it's the same way where it's, you have these people that strive to be at the front of the train, which was where all the rich people are, but they're at the very back. They're in these slums. In Mother, it's about, the mother is a lower class and her son is being, in her opinion, foisted. This crime is put upon him that she doesn't believe he committed. In Memories of a Murder, it's about like hunting a serial killer, but there are these two detectives that are at odds, and one of them comes from the city and is kind of the polished, like actual detective, and the other one is,
So it's more of like this, like aspiration, like kind of this cultural aspiration to be in this upper class, and like the issues that kind of promote, like propagating this kind of understanding of like the class structure.
Exactly, and I think
influences the lower class to do things.
Exactly. It influences the lower class to try their best, try everything that they can to become an upper class member. And I think a lot of it has to do with like how Korea or South Korea in general, the technological boom has happened so recent, like within the past 50 years. So you still have people that are so entrenched in the old values. And then you also have this like crazy tech boom that has catapulted people to the very tops of opulence and decadence.
I think another like what I think separates Bong and what makes his films more interesting than other people who try to address these issues is the fact that he doesn't paint lower class as like this, like the good guy all the time, especially in Parasite. I think Parasite, like seeing it with my family was interesting because multiple times like they were like, these people are awful and they're not wrong. Like that family is not, the things they do are not great. And I like the fact that in all his films, it's not about like a good or a bad person. It's about like what makes them a bad person.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's like this class structure that's inherently there, where if there were, because they even talked about how there's just no jobs available, in South Korea and Parasite.
Yeah.
And how if they just had normal, medium paying jobs, they didn't, like none of this would have happened. It's just that they were having to fold pizza boxes.
Yeah.
to get by. So it's not like they had this plan where they had normal jobs and they were just trying to have this get rich quick scheme. Right. It was just more of like outside influences that kind of made this their best option and the most logical option.
Right. Exactly. It's less recreating the class struggle, more just kind of shining a light on what it is in general.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I'll bring this up at the end. I wanted to talk about, I had one small theory that I wanted to bring up that I'm sure other people have, and it's what that stone
it was all a dream
means. It was all a dream. Yeah. And it kind of represents what we were just talking about. And I wrote down that the stone kind of represents power and strength. And as soon as the Kim family gets the stone, they kind of use that power that they have like irresponsibly. And it's like, it comes back in the end when the son, he's like hitting the head with the stone. It's like, that's the power, like kind of transferring over to the family that was living in the basement. I just think that stone represents like an abuse of power that gets passed on from one person to the next. And then the son putting the stone away in the end is kind of him becoming a bit more responsible with how he goes about things. But I'm sure I don't have enough to back up that theory, but that's kind of what I got out of it.
No, I mean, they say as much, when the stone is first given to them, it's it's a scholar's stone that is said to help bring material gain.
Well, yeah.
Right.
And it explicitly says material.
Yeah. So that's just my explanation of that.
Yeah. I was wondering like what the worst theory you could come up with about this film is.
Well, the dream thing's pretty
bad.
Like I'm thinking like the reason it's called Parasite in English is because like rich people parasail a lot. So and you get like a really good sight, like a really good view when you're parasailing.
Yeah.
Oh man,
that's totally what he meant.
Yeah, that's absolutely. It's like, well, and then sight is like vision, and that's why the eyes are blacked out on the posters because they can't see what's in front of them.
I have nothing to add to that. You guys topped it. I can't. The thing is, most of my theories on YouTube are that bad, so people would fully believe whatever I say.
There's this great think piece article that I read about like the use of English in this movie and how like all of the English that they use, like English in this movie is seen as something that's only achievable by the higher class. And if you look at like the first 10-15 minutes of the movie, like every word that is said in English has something to do with like capitalism. Like the words that they're using are like brand image, and they're saying that specifically in English rather than in Korean. I don't know what it means.
Yeah. I have wondered about what those English, because
because a couple of them didn't seem arbitrary, but they seem like I guess the opposite of arbitrary. That's what I meant to say. Is that they seem very intentional. Yeah, because like some of them, it didn't seem like there was a reason for it to be in English.
Yeah, because there's
a couple of times it just tricked me into thinking I could understand Korean.
The two that stand out to me are both said by the mother of the Park family. When she says it's deadly serious. And the other one is that okay with you? Those are the two that stand out to me. And I don't know why she said, but I guess they're both like kind of talking down.
No, but also, and I'm just totally stealing this from whatever article I read, but like she uses English incorrectly a lot. Like she grammatically, like the things that she says don't make sense. So it's like even in the high class, it's even like bad English is better than no English at all. And then you compare, I've read a lot about like the Native American imagery that they have, how that relates to America and capitalism and blah, blah, blah. Or like the fact that Mr. Park has an English name that he's like, that's his like business name is Nathan.
Yeah.
But his actual name is something Korean.
Right. And all of that, are you thinking like goes back to how you were talking about the tech boom in like Korea? And English, like the necessity to understand and speak English gets you more. It makes it easier for career opportunities.
Yeah, or just the idealization of American capitalism.
Yeah, just because I mean my own experience in Southeast Asia, which I mean obviously Vietnam and Korea are very different countries, but it's like every child is learning English in Vietnam. Because whenever I would walk around tourist areas, they would have like parents ask me to speak English with their kid for 5 minutes, just because the amount of opportunity for people who can speak English in Vietnam is like way higher than, if you can't. Yeah. So yeah, it's just like, it's an interesting, kind of dynamic.
Yeah. So we'll finish off with one last kind of quick question. It comes from Ethan Thomas, and it is, what do you think about all the hype surrounding this movie, since this movie is the highest rated movie on Letterboxd? I mean, it's a pretty it's just a great movie. I think it's interesting how many, the fact that this was so loved by Hollywood. I think that kind of speaks to what we were saying before, how there isn't really it's not just saying like rich people bad. Because it's like a lot of people point out, it's like Chrissy Teigen tweeted out like, I loved Parasite, and they're like, you're the bad guy. But it's like, I still feel like this film finds a way to connect with people like that. Like, it's a very universally, it reaches like all sides of life, I feel. And I think that's why it's attached.
I also don't think necessarily, I mean, what you were saying, like the rich people aren't necessarily the bad people in this film. It's more like the idea of opportunity and wealth inequality.
Yeah.
You can also be rich and still understand that.
Right.
I mean, exactly.
Because a lot of wealthy people weren't always wealthy, although not especially in the US, I would say many wealthy people were wealthy.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm saying like, obviously some are not, especially like celebrity. There's some people who were, I'm not going to continue that thought. Obviously there's an issue in the US with like wealth hoarding and familial wealth from generation to generation, but
yeah.
Do you think it's worthy of the highest rated movie on Letterboxd?
I mean, if some movie has to have it.
That is true. Yeah. I think
it's a movie that you would rank higher.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't my favorite movie of the year.
Right.
Here's the thing though. This is a small side note. It's like, this wasn't my favorite movie of the year, but I still think it's like the best movie I think it deserves Best Picture more than Marriage Story, which is my favorite movie of the year.
It's also Marriage Story is also probably my favorite movie of the year. But there's a difference between favorite and best.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
This is the best Bong Joon-ho movie. This is not my favorite Bong Joon-ho movie.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. We talked about this a little bit with Amanda a few weeks ago, but yeah. What were you saying, Jeff?
I don't remember.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Okay. I remember. Yeah. So Letterboxd also is a user review site. So it's more like, I think if anything is going to give you an indicator of, if something is good is more of user review, because it's such a large pool of people. It's like directly asking people if they liked it.
Yeah.
And the most people say they liked it. So
right.
There you
go. Yeah, I think, and I've been saying this, I said this to our friend Nick on our way to see it opening night in Chicago. I think it's like going to be, it will top like Citizen Kane down the years. I think this is a very film schools are going to dissect it for years. It's a great example of just how to make a movie. I think it's just it's as perfect as you can get. So I think
Hollywood's also going to use it as an example and say, we don't ever have to do this ever again, because we gave Parasite Best Picture, and now let's give it to some rapist director again.
That's the other thing. I feel like Parasite just barely, I mean, it's universally loved, but it just barely won Best Picture. It felt like such a stretch, the fact that it won. And this is like
Green Book won the year before.
That's what I'm saying.
From Green Book to Parasite.
Like, this is such a good ass movie, and it's still I don't know when the next time. I don't know. That's just how the Academy works. But
well, I mean, we're gonna have Sonic this next year as Best Picture, so.
Which, I mean, Carson, you said it's one of your top 3 of the year so far, right?
It is, yeah. I would like to say this right now. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet, but my favorite movie of the year as of now is Bad Education, which is on HBO.
Ooh, I want to see that.
Fantastic film. I would happily discuss this on the podcast at some point. Great movie.
Maybe Owen Part 2.
Owen Part 2.
Part 2, Owen Part 3, Owen Part 4, Owen Part 5.
I will just say I've never been a Hugh Jackman fan, but this movie made me a Hugh Jackman.
I mean, I have just since Real Steel.
Oh, yeah. My friend auditioned for Real Steel when we were in 3rd grade.
What role?
A kid.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You were in third grade.
Great. Yeah. My buddy Hugh,
he wasn't even close.
No.
He was a third grader and he was trying to be the adult who fights robots.
He was actually auditioning for the robot.
Did you just go in and do the robot?
Yeah. Not well, obviously.
Okay. I have a question for both of you. Okay. Would you live in that bunker?
If I had to, I would.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, well, no, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, given the choice between living in a house or living in a bunker,
I was like,
I'm choose living in a house.
After my current situation.
After I said the question, I'm like, wait, I needed to preface that with a reason for you to live in that bunker. No one would choose to live in the bunker. No one would just
choose to live there, yeah.
That was a terrible question.
That's why we leave the questions up to the listeners.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that about does it for now. There's a million things to say about this film, but honestly, I'm going to say it, Jeff, that was one of our better movie discussions. I thought we killed it, to be honest. I thought we
honestly, I think Owen,
good points.
I'm not saying that it was me that
Owen's
did
a good movie. This is what I'm saying. Like, Owen has awful takes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
that drives clicks. That drives clicks.
It drives clicks.
All right, you need me.
I mean, maybe not as much as like a celebrity guest, but it's still, it's fine.
No, we'll get there. So I'm gonna give this a 5 out of 5.
Yeah, I did as well.
Cool. And Owen?
And then Owen, his last take is like 1 out of 5.
Owen, did you give this a 5?
On Letterboxd?
Uh-huh.
I think I have it as a 4.5.
4.5. See, this is the shit he does.
Wow.
He just barely.
But I should probably give it a 5 if I had to give it.
Hey, everyone has their own opinion. This is up to you.
Well, I have it. Yeah, it's a whole. I have 4.5, but I do have it as a like. It is like.
Okay, well, who gives a shit?
Yeah. I don't even use the likes. I have
2s that have likes.
Me too. Christopher Robin.
I'm never gonna watch that movie.
Great movie.
So
great movie.
Boring.
Everyone go watch Christopher Robin, especially if you read Pooh as a kid.
Yeah. Well, that does it for the Parasite discussion. Thanks for tuning into that. Today we have some fun questions from the subreddit. We'll start off with this one from 10_billion1. It is, can either of you solve a Rubik's Cube?
Well, I think it means all 3 of us because they didn't know there was a guest.
Oh, yeah. By either, I mean all 3.
Because you're in this,
Owen, do not. Okay.
Owen, I feel like can, though, is the thing.
I have in the past. There was a point in my life.
You feel like one of like the 5 people I know that I would say can.
There was a point in my life where I was looking up like WikiHows on how to solve a Rubik's Cube. And I was doing all the steps right. And I was not able to solve a Rubik's Cube. I was just like, even following the guidelines, I couldn't do it. Yeah. But then eventually I broke through, and there was probably a month where I like had the formula memorized to do it. And I if you handed me, I can do a side in like 2 seconds. Give me one side.
Jesus.
Easy.
Have you tried just buying spare Rubik's Cube stickers and just sticking them over?
I used to do that. Yeah. I would take the cubes apart and then put them back in, because you can do that. That was my thing.
Have you guys seen Pursuit of Happiness?
No.
The Will Smith movie?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, for anyone who has seen that, and this is fairly early in the film, there's a scene where he's solving a Rubik's Cube in front of a guy. And I'm just imagining they redo that scene, but he just takes the Rubik's Cube apart and just sticks it back together. And like the guy's still impressed.
Did you guys ever in like high school have, or even like middle school, have like that one person who like always had a Rubik's Cube out and was really proud of the fact that they could solve a Rubik's Cube?
Yeah. Everyone had that one guy.
Okay.
And he's like, I could do it with my eyes closed. And you're like, no one cares.
Right.
Tyler.
So that made me think of something kind of related. There's a kid in my high school who had really long fingernails, and I just thought he was kind of weird. But then it turns out he actually played classical Spanish guitar.
So we had to
I was like, wow, that's so weird. His nails were like super long, but then it was like he had a very good reason.
If the reason was that he was going for the record, would you respect him more or less?
I mean, I think less for sure.
That's definitely
yeah.
Well,
have you seen the record? They like curl back.
They're crazy. Have you seen them cut off the record? They use like a bandsaw.
Oh, ugh.
Yeah.
But how do you even measure that? Because it's all curled up. Like,
long piece of string.
That sounds like the worst job ever. The person has to measure the world's longest fingernails.
Probably smell pretty bad too.
Yeah. This next one, if we're done talking, this next one comes from.
Actually, I've got a couple more.
Yeah. It comes from Saya Ellis of On. It is. I'm sure there's a better way to pronounce that. Yeah. It is. And this applies to Owen. Why did you guys pick DePaul? What other colleges were you considering? Would anyone like to start? I thought this was a strange question.
No, it's good. I have a lot to say about it, but I don't want to like dominate and talk about my horrible college search.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah.
I have a quick answer if you want me to just shoot.
Yeah, Jeff, you go for it because you went to DePaul for grad school.
Yeah. So. Technically, I'm still a student there because I have not done my thesis.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I decided to go to film school a little bit late, and DePaul's application was still open. So I probably would. So I just did that instead of waiting another year to go somewhere else.
So here you are.
Yeah. And I was also like, yeah, Chicago seems cool.
So,
and I was wrong.
I was awful. Yeah, I applied to, it seemed like a good film school. It was on a few lists. I did not get into a lot of other places. DePaul happened to let me in. The other option was Emerson, which I did not really like. Boston. Chicago, similar to Jeff, Chicago seemed cool. And here I am.
I actually like totally fell into, I wasn't even going to go to DePaul for film. Yeah. Coming out of high school, I took a gap year because I needed a year. I was in a really bad space mentally, and I had to just like take a year to work on myself. Mm-hmm. And then afterwards, I was just applying to colleges in Illinois, and I wanted to do theater and I wanted to do playwriting. But I didn't get, so I applied to DePaul for their playwriting, but there's like 5 people that get into that every year.
Yeah. And
so I was like, I'll do screenwriting instead. And now I'm way more into screenwriting than anything else. So total luck. DePaul rocks.
Also, the play space is not doing well right now.
Like he's got a plush toy.
Oh wow, he has for people listening. I don't even know how you describe.
He's a blue demon.
Yeah, we have a blue demon
with like a weird beard.
Yeah. I remember when I got into DePaul, they were like, "This is our mascot," and I was like, "Yeah."
I'm going to be honest. I've never seen that before.
I mean, okay,
I don't know why I have it. I truly don't know why I have it. I did not get that.
But I mean, they also don't have a good sports program at DePaul. They have a basketball team that's really bad.
They have a softball team that just got sued for abusing its players.
No, they're not good at so my undergrad school is like a much better sports school.
Where'd you go for undergrad?
University of Central Florida.
Oh, I almost went there. That was
a
place that they offered me a lot of scholarship money.
Yeah. It's hot there.
Yeah.
And also it's like the second biggest school in the country.
Really?
Yeah. It's like 65,000 students or something. It's enormous.
Wow.
So yeah, I guess that.
So were you there during Blake Bortles?
Yeah, I was. Well, so the year after I graduated was when they won the Fiesta Bowl.
Wow.
So I missed that by 1 year, like their really good season. And then, they've had a couple really good seasons since. And then Mackenzie Milton, his leg exploded and everyone was sad. But his legs almost put back together.
I'm sure he'll be running the same way he was before that.
You never know. He's Hawaiian, so maybe they heal really fast.
You trying to say something about Hawaiians, Jeff?
No, I mean like warm climate.
Man's got a Hawaiian shirt on right now.
That's why, people go to warm climates to heal faster.
Oh.
He's also like not native Hawaiian.
He's a
you know what? I'm gonna have to investigate that before.
Yeah, I don't know that it's great to take a hard stance right now. Might want to do some research on that.
Well, on that note, we have one more question. This one's kind of weird. I don't know why I chose it. It's a hard one to answer, but it comes from Tyrannus Rex. Always asks great questions, and says, "What is the oldest thing you own, or the oldest film you've seen?"
Well, the oldest film I've seen is like
the first film.
Well, yeah, like the Lumiere brothers, like people leaving the factory,
right?
Or would you say the really quick pictures of horses that is running?
Right, those are what I have.
Yeah, I've seen both of those. So that's the oldest film I've seen. Easy.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up my oldest like actual like feature like call it like a big, like a normal, not normal, but like a film, you know? I'm going to look this up.
I think my oldest is Sherlock Jr. Yeah, Sherlock Jr.
Okay. A Trip to the Moon, does that count? That's still
I've seen that as well.
I guess the first like feature length, like 90-minute plus film is the Gold Rush.
Or like Chaplin. The one of the train coming at you where everyone thought that it was going to hit them.
Love that.
Yeah, I like that. That's a big thrill for me. I thought that train was about to hit me. Which, you know what though, that it's even dumber they thought that, because that train was like not in color. Like they thought somehow this black and white train was
that story does not line up to me. I think it's the dumbest. They bring it up in film class.
Have you read the review of the guy who saw it and came and wrote a review of it and said like, this was the worst thing that's ever happened to me?
No.
Oh, I had to read it for a class. I'll send it to you guys. It's hilarious.
Sweet. Let's see. Oldest thing I own though, I don't know. My grandpa gave me like a train or a car that is
like a full size train.
Yeah.
You're like looking around for it.
I have something that was made in the style of like Pioneers, but it was made by me in 3rd grade.
So yeah, I don't think that counts.
Maybe like a book.
Here, I have it. I don't know if you guys were in the middle of a conversation, but
no, Owen left. I was the only one still here.
Okay, I'm not going to cut that. This is like an old truck my grandpa gave. I don't know when.
Maytag. That's like the washing machine company.
Yep. He worked for them and like.
This is a copy of the Federalist Papers from 1961.
Oh wow, cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I probably have like a coin from like the 20s or something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I don't really think I have anything really that's like substantially over 100 years old.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like old.
My soul.
Yeah. What is next? I think that does it for questions though. We can move on to, and we'll move on to our wrap up. And the first part of our wrap up is meme of the week, which we will go over with you, Owen. And we wanted to make a quick announcement that the next few weeks we're going to have a lot of guests on. We have a guest on this week, but we're going to be just canceling. Is that the right word?
Well, it's not canceling. What we're doing is we're going to push meme of the week back until we don't have a guest.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe 3 episodes or so. We're going to push it back. And then we're going to have a super meme of the week where we go over an entire month's worth of memes.
Right.
Wow. And it's probably going to be a separate video on our YouTube page so that we don't have a podcast that has a 45-minute meme of the week segment.
Yeah, it'll be a little Karstcast special. So be on the lookout for that. But until then, this will be our last meme of the week for the remainder of the month until June.
So feel free to keep making them, because otherwise the month-long meme of the week.
Yeah, feel free to like include me in them too, because that obviously now that I'm like a staple
honestly,
of the
just
show.
give them a couple like more poses to give them some opportunity. You know, yeah, that's a good one. Just things they can freeze frame. Yeah, I don't know. The foot might be a little much. I don't know what they can really do with that.
But that also, like, there could be some people that
I'm
just
sure
really help them out.
There will be some glitch memes, you know, related
that's
to
good.
glitches.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'll be the glitch guy.
You're the glitch guy.
You're Tron. We should talk about Tron on this podcast.
I watched the original Tron, and
me too.
It looks cool, but it's
boring as
sucks.
Shit.
It's really boring.
Oh, it's so boring, but I still love it because it's like
even
the effects are kind of cool, but they look dumb. The new Tron's boring too.
But it's got great soundtrack.
Oh, yeah. And the light bugs are cool in the Neutron.
Now, Jimmy Neutron, that's a good movie.
That's a bad movie.
That's a solid movie.
Of America.
Yeah. That's the best part of that movie.
That's the one that surprised me the most. That like was truly off. Well, National Treasure. That was a problematic movie. When we rewatched it. But then also
I saw
the
National Treasure in theaters. I saw Jimmy Neutron in theaters.
I saw Jimmy Neutron in theaters.
Yeah, I mean,
same.
Yeah. Who didn't? Everyone's seen Jimmy Neutron in theaters.
I mentioned the fact that I watched. First of all, I said in my what I watched this month video that I would defend National Treasure. So I'm going to take that time right now to defend National Treasure as being a great movie. Sure, it's got its issues. You know what I mean? But like,
I mean, it's
sorry.
Stupid.
Could you just like what are the kind of lines that Nicolas Cage says a lot? Because it feels like he just says kind of the same thing over and over again. And that is, please be quiet, to a woman specifically. Hey, shut up, dear. A man is talking.
All I'm saying is I enjoyed the multiple times I've seen National Treasure more than this one time I'm reading To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah. You know what, though? I heard for National Treasure, they let Nicolas Cage use the actual document of the Constitution. He actually was holding the original.
Is that a bit or not?
No, it's real.
Can't tell anymore.
It's like a special thing.
Oh my god.
He would not sign on to the movie unless they let him actually touch the Declaration of Independence.
Nicolas Cage forewent $1 million of his salary for the film.
Mm-hmm.
I would just like
donated it just so they would let him do it.
It's been a big week for Nick Cage. I just broke part of that truck that's like over 100 years old. So that's awesome.
Oh
no. Some cool Nick Cage facts. My grandfather is rolling in his grave as he hears me say 2 cool Nick Cage facts.
Directly after breaking his truck.
Precious artifact. Yeah. He is going to be Joe Exotic in a Joe Exotic.
Yeah, which, okay, that casting is suspect.
You guys
said jumping the gun?
Yeah.
I just said it was like kind of suspect casting.
But it's also like Tiger King came out weeks ago.
It's going to be so
make a movie about
not cool, but it's not even a movie. I think it's a television. Well, yeah, it's a movie. I don't know, but it's going to be outdated by then. I am excited to see Nick Cage play that character, but I think the show is going to suck.
So how many animated tigers are going to be in that?
Knowing.
Do you think they're going to use real tigers?
Yeah. If he can touch the Declaration of Independence, he can get real tigers.
Have you guys seen?
Which is still weird. It's crazy they let him touch the real.
Yeah. Again, like strange thing that they like. I mean, that's because he's a Coppola.
Yeah.
I don't think any of you.
They didn't let him do it in the second one though.
No.
I don't think any of you.
That's Book of Secrets is different. There was no Declaration in Book of Secrets.
Has anyone here seen Mandy? No, okay. Crickets for that one.
Did the movie come out where he's fighting Chuck E. Cheese?
Huh?
There's Nick Cage? A movie. Yeah, it's like a Five Nights at Freddy's kind of thing where he's.
Is it like the new updated Chuck E. Cheese where he looks like not friendly? He just looks like a rat.
I don't know. Oh, I have seen that. I have seen that.
Like, why did they change Chuck E. Cheese? He looked kind of cool and like I'd be friends with him. And then they updated him like a couple years ago, and now he's fat. Like just straight up like
they made him skinny. They made him he's skinny.
Like, it's like, I know he's not eating that pizza if he's that skinny.
Mm-hmm. No, but there's like this movie that's like based, Five Nights at Freddy's, right?
Oh, your mic just went super loud for a second. The Carson I spoke with him.
I'm glad Jeff also. I know Five Nights at Freddy's.
That's how I feel. Your mic would do that before.
And now it's not doing it.
No, now it doesn't. You got that new mic.
Beautiful mic.
Wow. But there's a movie that's like based on Five Nights at Freddy's where it's just Nicolas Cage beating up animatronic robots. Mm-hmm. And I read an early script of it and it sucked.
I'm going to see it.
So much. I'm gonna see it.
But how did you get access to this early script?
For one of my classes last quarter was feature development. And we just read like pilot or like early scripts of like, I read the Snowpiercer early pilot for that. I read like the new Mindy Kaling show. I read an early pilot for that. It was basically like it was basically to show like, this is the stuff that gets greenlit in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm. And then you read
almost none of it.
But then you read that.
Mm-hmm. I have it somewhere.
The second Nick Cage news related thing that I wanted to bring up is Disney Plus is talking about making a National Treasure TV series for the streaming service. And I
young Nick Cage
think
that could be neat.
I think that looks like it's gonna.
Yeah, and they cast Joe Exotic to be Nick Cage.
I think you mean Thomas Jefferson Wilson, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
George Washington.
So anyways, meme of the week.
Benjamin Franklin.
Nick Cage news.
Benjamin Franklin something.
I'm just going to start sharing my screen. Let's see. So we have a few, we have this video.
Why do you have SparkNotes To Kill a Mockingbird up?
Because I didn't understand the last chapter. Okay. So we're gonna move on. We got this one. I'm gonna play the audio here because I can't play it on my computer.
You can. You have to, when you share screen, there's an option to share audio.
Really? Does it automatically share the audio?
You have to select this option.
Okay, wait. So I'm gonna stop and then select the option.
Yeah, it's like when it comes up to it, all those little windows pop up. There's an option at the bottom.
Oh, wait. Share screen. Karstcast. Share computer sound.
Look at that.
Dude. Wait, optimize screen share for video clip? Dude, I've been cropping it this whole time. Wait, I have to give it access.
I don't hear you anymore.
Oh, now you're gone.
Oh,
wait. No, now you're back.
Am I back?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, we're just going to play this meme. It better be good.
It seems, despite your exhaustive defensive strategies, you still have a bit of a security problem, Headmaster. I'm afraid it's quite extensive. How dare you stand where he stood? Tell them how it happened that night. Tell them how you looked him in the eye. A man who trusted you and killed him. Tell them.
So for audio listeners, that was a fever dream.
That was a whole movie, basically.
Yeah.
Honestly, before even critiquing the meme itself, you get an A for effort. I mean, that was a lot of animation.
I love how much effort is there, and also my name is spelled wrong.
Jeffrey. Yeah. I really liked it.
That was like a cinematic experience.
Yeah,
especially
145 comments. Wow.
I don't know if we're jumping.
That's probably our question.
That's the question.
Yeah,
that's pretty great.
It's pretty great. Yeah, I don't know if we're jumping the gun, but this might be my meme of the week so far.
Well, you've only looked at one for.
I've only looked at one.
So actually, this is my meme of the week too.
Stop Motion Samurai has been working on an edit. He made they made a great edit last week that. So everyone be on the lookout for that. Just thought I'd plug the work. There's this one. It's a cartridge. I didn't think the cartridge thing would be as much of a hit.
I didn't think it. Yeah, but
it's not that good.
It has some legs.
It has some legs. Yeah. Moving on.
Despicable Me is a good movie, and so that is probably my meme of the week.
Okay. Yeah.
That's some art of you. I mean, your hair is the same color as your shirt.
My shirt. We have a Karstcast shirt. It just says Karstcast.
It doesn't exist. It's kind of a cool shirt, though.
It kind of is a cool shirt.
Yeah, it's a great shirt, and so that's my meme of the week.
Someone said Lucy Q made a Reddit just to post this.
That's dedication.
Yep.
So say it with me. That's my meme of the week.
Meme of the week. No, this is a good one. It is Carson on the first Wednesday of each month. This is a reference to last week's episode. I think this is pretty funny. This will be my honorable mention.
What? Wait, what is this referencing?
When the siren went off in the background. Remember that, Jeff? The siren? Yeah.
Oh.
I think that's pretty funny. And then someone pulled up a photo of me from high school.
That's my meme of the week right there, ladies and gentlemen. Add nothing to
the meme of the week.
Yeah. Someone just said Jeff and his chalky milk.
That's not that was not chocolate milk. That was iced coffee.
Mm-hmm. Someone
would also
brought
like
up
to say
this,
that,
Jeff.
Oh, that's my brother and me. You putting so I bought my brother for Christmas a couple years ago, it was like 3 years ago, I think, it was a $9 boat, and then we took it out on the intercoastal.
Yeah. It's a great. Sorry, I'm just pulling this up while you bring that up.
That is terrifying.
Yeah, they did the Renaissance painting for me.
With a person's face.
So that's the Reddit this week. This is a pretty good send off.
Yeah, I mean, I think that definitely this video by El Momento de Bra. That's the honorable mention. That's number 2. I think that number 1 for me is the picture of you from high school.
Yes, that would also be my meme of the week.
All right. Cool.
With the caption. That's also Memento de Bra. Had a great week.
Memento de Bra really killed it this week. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we're gonna stop sharing right there. Thanks, everyone.
What if that was how we ended the podcast? We're gonna stop sharing right there,
right now. Keep making the memes because we will talk about them in that meme of the week special. That will be meme of the month.
Really. Oh, it'll be a video special on the YouTube page.
So meme of the month, the memes.
Yeah. Wait, maybe we bring Owen back for the meme of the week special.
I'm down for that, especially because I'm assuming we're going to get some Owen related memes.
That's what I figured.
So
I mean,
don't disappoint me.
We're going to make an open call for some Owen memes.
Do whatever you want with me.
Okay.
Get me back on this pod.
Do whatever you want, and then you flash forward to the special, and you're just crying.
Exactly.
We'd like to wrap things up by reading a review as a way of...
It's just an ostrich like stamping on Owen's head with Karsten's face on the ostrich.
I just get doxxed.
People posting pictures of your house.
Oh my
god. Anyways, like I was saying, we want to wrap things up by reading a review as a way of encouraging you guys to leave reviews. We'd really appreciate it. It helps us out. This one comes from Junie Dash. Man. Yeah, Owen, just review the podcast right now, and that'll be our review for this week.
This podcast has a lot of potential. Two great hosts, some guests that they bring on really bring up the energy, though. And kind of, it's that missing piece that would could use more cookie, I would say.
Yeah. Anyways, this one comes from Junie Dash Mary. It comes from Norway. 5 stars. Subject line: wheezing. And it reads, Karsten wheezing while laughing at one of Jeff's jokes is my new favorite thing. If my friends don't start wheeze laughing at my jokes from now on, I don't want them in my life. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Karsten, if your wheezing is due to some health problems, I'm very sorry. Don't mean to offend.
So now someone has to take wheezing the Pokemon, and Karsten can be the big head and Jeff can be the little head. So that's a request.
No one made that meme yet. That's a top tier. See, Owen, you should get in on the subreddit at this point.
Maybe I will.
Maybe you will.
And then you're like, meme of the week, user Owen.
Owen's been
whoever this guy is.
Bro.
User Owen should be on the podcast again.
Momento de Owen.
Cool. Well, last thing we want to do is give a quick, lovely thank you to our lovely patrons. We really appreciate you guys. Go to patreon.com/Karstcast if you would like to get in on the fun and get exclusive access to bonus episodes, GeoGuessr Let's Plays, apparently.
Bring me on those. Karsten knows how good I am at that.
You are, yeah. Owen, I played GeoGuessr with.
Okay, yeah. We'll do an Owen GeoGuessr.
Yeah. You were playing the stuff that they start out giving you. Like you got the San Francisco, the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of the name. Yeah. So you got it easy.
Wait, let me pull up the picture and I'll show you how great I am. Even look at that. Look at that. Look how close that is.
Yeah, so that's not.
That's not.
Okay, yeah. Okay, pretty good.
For those listeners, you got 5,000 points. Yeah, you got
right on one guess. I mean, we have no context or if that was an easy guess or not.
I'm guessing it. Oh, they were all very easy.
Yeah. Okay, so we'd like to thank.
Wait, are you playing GeoGuessr on your phone?
No, I was taking a picture of my computer screen.
I was like, that'd be the hardest thing ever. Anyways, sorry, patron
list. We'd like to thank Alex Davis, Allison Grace, Boat, Connor Holmes, Eden, Ethan Kell, Hannah E., Holly Edwards, Iva, Joshua Kwizwicki, Josie Eiler, June Australian Winter, Martin Deff, Mary Lee Borslow, Moses Ox. Okay, but if there was a man behind Jeff, he would think it was a Patreon name and he would die. Hasn't updated. That's the same name from last week. Olivia Robinson, Philip Hagelberg, Ready Steady Ernie, Robert Burke, Sergio Palacios, Sophia Arieta, T Sizzle, Vegard Strom, and Vera S. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate you.
Yeah, even Owen's thanking you. He does not get any of that money.
Yeah. I would like to say those dollars, as well as the people on the main Patreon, helped me up my mic. So you guys are helping this podcast become a little bit better.
It's also funded every time I've had to rent a movie, which is nice for the podcast.
So you guys are keeping this thing above water. I've
probably just gone into the profit on this podcast.
I have spent a lot. Can I just say I've spent a lot of money, too much money on this Ansel video? Because here's what's happened. All his movies need to be rented. None of them are really on streaming services besides one. So I've had to rent.
That's like a conspiracy?
Well, first of all, the Goldfinch, you have to pay $20. So I didn't even do that. I didn't rewatch that movie. But so what I'm saying is I've had to rent all of them, and then I forgot to screen record them for the video. So I've had to rent all of them again. So I've spent a lot of money on.
Carson, whose idea was it to have the Ansel video be this week, just when he's like coming right back into relevance?
It was my idea, but
who spearheaded that movement?
Pushed it forward. You helped me come up with the choice to, He really did. I got really lucky. He is returning to Twitter week of this video drop. Comes out on Saturday. It will be out by the time you guys listen to this. I'm so excited about it. It's about 20 minutes long. It's a fucking awesome video. Awesome. Well, I have nothing else to say. I made French press coffee for the first time today.
Yeah, you said it was not that good.
It was, it's my first time making French press, so we'll get better, but it smells really good. It's like vanilla. Anyways.
Oh, okay. And it's really easy for us to smell that.
Yeah, we got smell-o-vision on these laptops.
If you become a patron, you get the smell access. So
you just mail them.
I do not smell good right now, so you may not want that.
Yeah.
All right, Owen, you have something to plug.
Wow. I have so much to plug. I'm going to take my sweet time with this. Follow me on Twitter at that Cahill kid. I'm sure that'll be linked. I have, as Karsten mentioned, a radio show that I do with our friend Emily, called Shout Out to My Future Significant Other. You can find all the episodes for free at patreon.com/SO2 number two SO show. We also have Twitter and Instagram at that same SO2 SO show. I'm single. If you think I'm cute.
All right. That's where we cut it off. Well, unless you have anything else to plug.
No, if you follow me on Twitter, you'll see if I have anything else going on. You'll see it there.
Cool. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. This has to be our longest episode.
I think it might be. Is this like an hour and a half?
Yeah.
Hour and a half of greatness.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I would like to plug, bring me back on the show.
Yeah. There's about 10 minutes in the beginning that were like not really usable. Unless you just don't edit them, and then they are.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, I guess should be the outro.
I guess so. Hold on. My audio for this episode will be from Zoom. I just realized that. So thank you guys so much for listening. This ended great. This happened when I shared my screen with the audio. It decided to quit Logic. Thank you so much for listening. Jeff, do you have anything else to say?
Well, do you still have like the before that you switched audio?
It quit altogether and did not save.
Ooh, well, good thing we have Zoom.
Good thing we have Zoom. This will be so much fun to edit. Does anyone have anything to say?
Catch you on the flip side.
Catch you on the flip side. Owen.
Bring me back.
You said... We're going to try it one more time.